The Las Vegas Raiders went all in. Number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, 16-0. Fernando Mendoza is now a Raider, and the franchise has not approached an offseason with this much intent in 20 years. Head coach Clint Kubiak walked in with a Super Bowl ring still warm from Seattle. General manager John Spytek spent 7 months traveling to small towns and big cities, chasing every detail on his quarterback. The pick was widely expected. The process behind it was anything but routine. And one cold Saturday in West Lafayette ended up telling them everything. The roster around Mendoza got rebuilt, brick by brick. 3-time Pro Bowl center Tyler Linderbaum signed a record 3-year, $81 million contract to anchor the offensive line. Wide receiver Jalen Naylor came in on a 3-year, $35 million deal. Kwity Paye joined Max Crosby on the edge. Linebackers Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean reset the second level. Running back Ashton Jeanty enters year 2 with a 4th-round compliment in Mike Washington. Tight end Brock Bowers returns healthy. The Raiders also moved a former top 10 pick on draft day. And the player they got back tells a different story than most fans realize. The supporting cast around the rookie quarterback now stacks up against any expansion class in the league. The defense gets a new coordinator, a new front, and a new identity under Rob Leonard. But the most interesting name on this defensive line was not picked at all. He went undrafted out of NC State. He has 11 career sacks. He earned the largest guaranteed money of any Raiders undrafted free agent. Almost every Raiders YouTuber has been mispronouncing his name for 2 weeks straight. Inside this video, the Mendoza vetting story most outlets glossed over, the Tokyo toe signing nobody saw coming, the anonymous ACC coach who chose the wrong week to talk to ESPN, and the win total prediction Las Vegas odds makers will not touch. The schedule drops in days. The verdict on this team comes faster than anyone thinks. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Raiders and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. Most of the football world treated the number 1 pick as a foregone conclusion the moment Fernando Mendoza walked off the field after the College Football Playoff National Championship. The Raiders front office refused to treat it that way. Sports Illustrated insider Albert Breer detailed the 7-month operation in a piece called How the Raiders Landed on Their Franchise QB. General manager John Spytek sent eyeballs to multiple games during the season. He sat in on the combine interviews. He showed up at the Pro Day in Bloomington. He attended workouts in Miami. The point was never to confirm what the tape already screamed. The point was to find one box Mendoza failed to check, and watch him check it anyway. The Purdue game became the moment everything clicked. It was the coldest game ever played at Ross-Ade Stadium. Mendoza went 8 of 15 for 177 yards before leaving in the third quarter of a 56-3 blowout. When the Raiders sat down with him, they asked about it directly. He told them the truth. He wore too many layers, and he never felt like himself. The honesty mattered. Spytek noted in the same interview cycle the strange parallel to a young Tom Brady, who used to wear scuba gear under his uniform in cold weather games to stay warm. Small detail. Big tell. The deliberate self-awareness was the trait nobody else picked up on, and it was the trait the Raiders needed most. That kind of due diligence does not happen for every prospect. The Commanders did it on Jaden Daniels. The Browns did it on Baker Mayfield in 2018. The Rams did it on Jared Goff. Each case was a true coin flip between 2 or more options. Mendoza was not a coin flip. He was the obvious answer. The fact that Spytek still ran the entire process is the answer to whether this team has changed how it operates. Under Clint Kubiak, the offense gets installed by a coordinator with a Super Bowl ring. Under the new regime, every premium pick gets the full treatment. The era of taking a player because the depth chart says so is over, and the rebuild now has its first pillar in place. The defensive overhaul started with one promotion. Clint Kubiak elevated Rob Leonard from defensive line coach to defensive coordinator on February 15th, less than a week after taking the head coach job. Leonard spent 3 seasons in the building, the last one as run game coordinator. Players love him. Max Crosby loves him. NFL Network reported the promotion was specifically designed to keep Crosby in the fold during a turbulent stretch where a trade to Baltimore briefly looked real before falling apart on a failed physical. The defense is moving toward a 3-4 scheme, and the position groups around Crosby got rebuilt to fit it. The linebacker room got the most aggressive reset. Quay Walker signed from Green Bay. Nakobe Dean signed from Philadelphia. 2 former Georgia teammates anchoring the second level on 3-year deals. Walker logged 128 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 5 pass breakups in 2025. Dean added 55 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles in only 10 games before injury. Behind them, Tommy Eichenberg enters year 3 coming off a season where he set the franchise record for special teams tackles. Cody Lindenberg enters year 2 as the green dot communicator out of Minnesota. The room went from a question mark to a strength in one offseason. The defensive line absorbed the biggest free agent pass rush addition. Kwity Paye signed a 3-year, $48 million deal with $32 million guaranteed. Malcolm Koonce got re-signed. Thomas Booker returned. The Raiders allowed 3.9 yards per carry last season, second best in the league, with 105 tackles for loss, third in the NFL. The unit wore down because the offense lost time of possession every week. With Mendoza running an offense designed by Clint Kubiak and protected by Tyler Linderbaum, the defense gets to play with a lead instead of chasing the ball off the field. Rob Leonard has a roster, a scheme, and a quarterback in front of him willing to give him sustained drives. The pieces fit. The question is whether the pressure outside of Max Crosby is enough, and the answer to it lives somewhere nobody is looking. ESPN ran a story this week from an anonymous ACC coach. The quote, "Fernando Mendoza is a good decision maker, but he does not have the NFL traits. All his throws were back shoulder. His receivers made him look better than he is." Read the timing. The criticism is sourced from when Mendoza played at California in 2024, the year before he transferred to Indiana, the year before he won the Heisman, the year before he won the Maxwell, the Davey O'Brien, the Walter Camp, the year before he led a 16-0 national championship run. The anonymous coach is grading a quarterback who no longer exists, on tape, 2 coordinators stale, and refusing to put a name on it. ESPN ran it anyway. Make of the editorial choice what you will. Here's the second surprise. The Raiders are about to feature the first Japanese-born player in NFL history. His name is Kansei Matsuzawa, also known as the Tokyo Toe. He signed with the Raiders as an undrafted free agent on April 25th, 3 years guaranteed. He was born in Ichikawa, Japan. He played soccer. He failed an entrance exam. He flew to Los Angeles in 2018, watched a Rams-Raiders Monday night game, decided he wanted to play in the NFL, and taught himself to kick from YouTube videos while working at a Morton Steakhouse in Tokyo. He went from a junior college in Nelsonville, Ohio, to the University of Hawaii, where he made 25 consecutive field goals to start the 2025 season, tied a 43-year-old FBS record, and became the first consensus All-American in Hawaii football history. He arrives in Las Vegas to compete with Matt Gay for the starting kicker role. Daniel Carlson is gone. The job is open. Matsuzawa went 27 of 29 on field goals last season, finishing second in the country. He went 72 of 72 on extra points. He made a game winner against Stanford in week 0 as time expired. There is no veteran lock here. There is no developmental redshirt waiting. There is a real position battle with international history on the line. In the same kicker room, watching Daniel Carlson make a 60-yarder last December. Every preseason, snap matters. Every preseason kick gets watched in 2 countries. The story writes itself, and it is only the second most overlooked angle on this roster. 10 picks, 10 names worth knowing. After Fernando Mendoza at 1 overall, the Raiders went safety. Traden Stukes at 38, edge rusher Kieran Crawford at 67, guard Trey Zune at 91, cornerback Jermod McCoy at 101, running back Mike Washington at 122, safety Dalton Johnson at 150, cornerback Hezekiah Masses at 175, wide receiver Malik Benson at 195, and defensive tackle Brandon Cleveland at 229. The secondary haul was the loudest message. 4 defensive backs across rounds 2 through 5. The offensive support for Mendoza came through Linderbaum in free agency and Zune, Washington, and Benson in the draft. Hezekiah Masses ran a 4.4640 out of Cal with 5 interceptions in his lone season as a Golden Bear and first-team All-ACC honors. The running back addition deserves its own paragraph. Mike Washington stands 6'2" and 228 pounds. He spent his last college season at Arkansas after 1 year at New Mexico State and 3 at Buffalo. He told reporters at his introductory press conference he plans to put on a gold jacket and chase the Hall of Fame. Ashton Jeanty has already been on his stream looking for a nickname for the new backfield duo: Smash and Dash, Vegas Voltage, Hit and Run. The names are fan-driven, but the personnel reality is real. Jeanty as the workhorse, Washington as the change of pace, big-bodied complement, with Roman Hemby lurking as an undrafted free agent out of Indiana. 3 running backs deep, all under 25. Now the reveal teased in the trailer. The Raiders signed an undrafted edge rusher out of NC State named Cian Sloan, pronounced Sean Sloan. Almost every Raiders content creator has been calling him Keon Sloan for 2 weeks. He earned the largest guaranteed money of any Raiders undrafted free agent at $237,000. He has 11 career sacks and 23 tackles for loss across stops at JUCO, Utah State, and NC State. He runs a 4.6640 at 6'3" and 245. Rob Leonard comes from a coaching tree connected to Brian Flores, the architect who turned versatile edge rushers like Andrew Van Ginkel and Kyle Van Noy into impact starters. Sloan drops into coverage. Sloan sets the edge. Sloan plays special teams. He is the type of player Leonard has been chasing for years. The signing was not random. Warren Sharp ranks the Raiders' schedule 14th most difficult. The Chiefs sit 10th, the Broncos 11th, the Chargers 21st. 3 of the 4 AFC West teams cluster in the back third of difficulty, and the league office found a way to give the Chiefs an easier path again. Predictable. The Raiders host 8 games and travel for 9. Home opponents include the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, Dolphins, Rams, Eagles, and Titans. Road games include the divisional doubles, plus the Patriots, Jets, 49ers, Cardinals, Browns, and Saints. The AFC East and NFC West rotation lands at the right time, with the Cardinals and Patriots both rebuilding and the Jets in transition. The Raiders are not the same team chasing the Chiefs from the back of the pack. Tyler Linderbaum anchors the front 5 with a 96.2 pass block win rate since entering the league. Brock Bowers returns healthy after a torn PCL cost him 5 games last year. Ashton Jeanty enters year 2 with another full offensive line in front of him for the first time in his career. Fernando Mendoza inherits more pass-catching weapons than Caleb Williams had in Chicago, more protection than Jaden Daniels had in Washington, and a room with Kirk Cousins as a 15-year veteran mentor. The competitive structural advantages stack up before the games start. The Chiefs lost Mansour Delane to themselves in the draft, but the championship window is older than it has been in 8 years. Patrick Mahomes still gets every favorable spot from the league office. The Broncos, with Bo Nix in year 3, should be the toughest divisional matchup on paper. The Chargers under Justin Herbert still need a real running game. The Raiders are no longer the soft draw on this schedule, and the schedule reflects it. 5.5 wins is the betting market answer. 5.5 wins also assumes the offensive line, the quarterback room, the linebackers, and the secondary all fail to develop. None of those 4 assumptions hold under examination, and the trade closing out draft day is the move proving the front office knows what it has. On day 3 of the draft, the Raiders sent Tyree Wilson and pick 219 to the New Orleans Saints for pick 150. Wilson was the 7th overall pick of the 2023 NFL Draft. 3 seasons, 12 career sacks, 7 starts. The previous regime invested heavily in him, and the current regime decided the room would move forward without him. The Saints get a former top 10 pick on a known contract. The Raiders get pick 150, used on Arizona safety Dalton Johnson, a 5-year college defender with 286 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 10 pass breakups across 50 games. The headline names the player traded. The actual return is the safety pairing he built. 2 weeks later, the Raiders waived Charles Snowden. The defensive end started 18 games over the previous 2 seasons, career-high 3 sacks in 2025. By every traditional measure, he was a productive piece. Reports indicated off-field reasons factored into the release, but the timing tells a deeper story. Tyree Wilson out, Charles Snowden out, Kwity Paye in on a 3-year deal. Kieran Crawford drafted at 67. Cian Sloan signed as the highest-paid UDFA. Malcolm Koonce re-signed. Max Crosby retained after the failed Baltimore trade. The defensive end room got younger, cheaper, faster, and more versatile in a single 8-week stretch. The through line was always Rob Leonard. He wanted players fitting the new front. He wanted edge rushers willing to drop into coverage. He wanted bodies built to play special teams. The hidden purpose of the Tyree Wilson trade was not the 7th round swap. It was the safety the Raiders drafted with the 5th round pick they acquired. Dalton Johnson pairs with Tre'Dan Stukes to form an Arizona to Las Vegas safety duo, with nearly 60 starts of college experience between them. The defense in 2025 wore down from time of possession deficits. The defense in 2026 gets fresher legs at every level, anchored by a coordinator the locker room trusts. John Spytek called his free agent approach intelligently aggressive. The Wilson trade is the cleanest example of what the phrase actually means. The schedule release is a moving target. The original window of May 12th through 14th is still possible, with reporting now pointing to Wednesday, May 13th or Thursday, May 14th as the most likely drop. Streaming rights negotiations involving YouTube and Netflix on the new 5-game international and holiday package created the delay. Once the schedule lands, every Raiders content channel will be running primetime game predictions and divisional matchup breakdowns. The win total in Las Vegas sits at 5.5. Build the math from there. 2 wins against the Cardinals and Patriots feel close to locks, given the rebuild status of both. Add a home win over the Titans and the trip to New Orleans. That is 4. Add a home split with the AFC East and 1 road upset, and 7 becomes the floor. The ceiling is the divisional question. 4 games against the Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers across 2 each. Last year, the Raiders went 2-4 in the division. With Tyler Linderbaum anchoring the line, Fernando Mendoza developing under Clint Kubiak, and Rob Leonard running a defense designed to keep games close, 3 division wins becomes a real number. Add the realistic non-divisional path, 9 wins. 2nd place in the AFC West. Knock the Chiefs out of a top seed in Week 18. Drop your prediction in the comments and subscribe before the next breakdown drops. This roster is built to surprise, and the betting market has not adjusted yet. The next storyline waiting to take over is the quarterback competition. Clint Kubiak confirmed on the JT the Brick podcast that Kirk Cousins, Aiden O'Connell, and Fernando Mendoza all have real reps coming. Cousins brings 15 years of veteran tape and a system fit. O'Connell is the longest tenured Raider quarterback on the roster. Mendoza is the future. The breakdown of who starts Week 1, who finishes the season under center, and who Kubiak trusts in a 1-score game is its own video. Coming next on the channel, the full quarterback room dissection, snap by snap, with a prediction nobody else is making. Hit subscribe so you do not miss it. The Raiders are back. Believe it now or watch it later.